A beautiful day throughout the UP, a mixture of sun and clouds. Temperatures at 57 degrees, that humidity just right at 54%. Just feels wonderful to be outside. A bit cool, but at least a couple degrees warmer than yesterday. Already starting to reemerge into those 60s. 60 in Ontonagon, 61 in Crystal Falls, 59 in Ironwood. Coolest temperatures are towards the central UP, 57 in Ishpeming, 59 in Manistee. Those winds coming out of the east at 10 in Ironwood, out of the north at 5 in Houghton, and out of the northeast at 9 in Escanaba. So eventually we'll start seeing a bit more of a shift of those winds out of the east and eventually out of the south by the time we get towards the end of the weekend and into early next week. So the next couple of days we're going to be dealing with a good amount of sunshine. Great weather ahead. We finally said goodbye to the cloudiness and those showers that we had through the entire work week, keeping us cool. Also, the fact that temperatures are on the rise. We're going to start seeing a bit more of those 60s this weekend. By the work week, we'll be into those 70s and actually be above average for this time of the year. So enjoy the weather here throughout the UP. Now, if you have friends and relatives, especially in the southeastern United States, it's all about Hurricane Irma this upcoming weekend. It's a very powerful category 4 hurricane, so it has weakened a little bit over the last 24 hours, and that's because the eye wall is being replaced. It's usually a process that tends to happen with major hurricanes, with the eye wall replacing itself. So it's now down to 155 miles per hour, but still packing quite a punch, unfortunately, as it makes its way through the Bahamas and now near Cuba. And by the time we get towards South Florida, the first effects of the hurricane sometime tomorrow morning. That's when the winds will begin to pick up. Already hurricane warnings in effect for southern Florida. Also, hurricane watches towards the middle of Florida. And eventually those watches and warnings are going to spread towards the north, eventually into Georgia by the time we push towards tomorrow as those effects continue to spread northward. So that bend sometime tomorrow is going to begin to take that northerly turn. And as of right now, most of the models have it making landfall on the southwestern portion of the state, which means that the eastern half of the hurricane is usually the stronger half of the storm. That's where the heaviest rains and strongest winds tend to occur. But if you do have friends and relatives, make sure that they prepare today. Today is literally the calm before the storm as the weather unfortunately goes downhill. Now for us, clear skies dominant through the Midwest, just spectacular way to start this upcoming weekend. And when it comes to those outdoor activities, no problems whatsoever. Warmer as we push throughout this weekend. Look at that high pressure barely budging at all. We're going to be dealing with a bit of that radiation of cooling during the nighttime hours. That's going to create for some patchy frost to develop. So make sure to protect those crops. But just the sunshine is going to be all around. Make sure to have that sunscreen with you. For tonight, 42 degrees. Cooler inland into those 30s where the frost is more of a concern. Winds out of the northeast at less than 5 miles per hour. Winds coming out of the east tomorrow. Good amount of sunshine. Breaking into those mid to upper 60s now. 67 in Ontonagon, 66 in Florence, 64 in Marquette. And then here are the next couple of days. It's just perfect. Look at that. 73 on Monday, 74 on Tuesday. Morning lows also warming from those 40s into those 50s.